Well, I got a notification. My phone, I guess, seems to yep, it's live. Okay. Hey, rad. Yeah, we're doing the thing, I guess. So I should have two cameras. I've got pop cam, and I've got the camera over here. Underpowered laptop right there. It's pretty freaking bad, but that's okay. I got my phone with to check chat messages. Right. Here's the trick. I so I'm going to try and make Thai peanut chicken noodle dish, and that's fine. But the problem with this is, yeah, we'll get into it. Let me start unloading ingredients here. So the unwitting star of our show today, not a sponsorship. I paid for these myself. It is a fettuccine noodle made from cognac. So it's going to be great now. It's not sure what that is. Should have researched it. That would have been really good. Anyway, this bag has 2 servings, and yep, 2 grams of carbs, of which 2. Yeah, that's not going to work. Hang on. Trying to figure out the streaming setup. There we go. Of which 2 were fiber, so 0 grams net carbs. So technically, fully dirty keto. Rest the ingredients. I know they're going to include some peanut butter and not a whole lot, because the kind that I like is being washed out by color balance now, by white balance. It's not a bad sort of way to go. 7 grams total carbs, 3 grams which dietary fibers, 2 grams of sugar. So, 4 grams? Yeah, it's Teddy's. Teddy brand. I buy these in 3 packs from Amazon. I don't know. They're 26-ounce jars, $7 a piece. It's something like that. Yeah, so we're going to get a lot of sort of peanutty goodness out of this. The ingredients: dry roasted peanuts, salt, the end. So this is actual peanut butter as opposed to peanut spread, which is great. But look, I've been on like 2 or 3 digressions. Let's pull up the recipe. Let's cook like we do in the real world, which is chaotically. I should have brought the chicken out to defrost, or not to defrost, but to come up to room temp before. I didn't, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, there's no ski mask. So, because I'm streaming this on a sort of, public, I don't know, interface that I have with the world, yeah, I haven't gone full ski mask. Then again, I'm not exactly, going to try and show my face. If it happens, it does. Suffice it to say, I'm a dashingly handsome, really suave, debonair, debonair sort of engineering type. It's fine. You can figure out the rest from there. But let me pull up the recipe here. I know. Right, here we are. So, yes, let's not digress. Let's go ahead and actually start bringing out ingredients. Let's do that thing. Let's see, off to the fridge. So, the thing to remember, if you're an engineer or really anybody doing any cooking, is if you're going to take the time to actually cook things, you might as well get things that are not terrible. So, let's see. So, for example, lime. Hang on. Oh, good. My laptop goes to sleep. This is going to be rad. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if the stream is still alive. Anyway, lime juice. No, we don't use this here. Instead, I've got some limes, and I bought a juicer. so let's see here. Yeah, I've got my green stuff. I've got some red stuff, I think. And I've got some chicken. And some ginger. And some garlic, probably. Right. Yeah, so we'll sort of do the, I don't know, cooking channel thing. And we'll start arranging the ingredients a little bit. So I ended up buying chicken. Hopefully I went thighs. If I was smart, I would have gone thighs. I did go thighs. Excellent. Boneless, skinless, value pack thighs. $1.77 a pound. You know, $6.12 for that. That's almost 3.5 pounds. Let's pull out the ingredients I actually need. So let's get on the list here. Peanut butter, done. Yeah, heavy cream. Right. And again, if you're going to do something, Horizon, I'm not sponsored by anybody. Horizon happens to make an amazing milk and cream, and at this stage, you know, doing keto, I can only eat like 6 things, so I sort of wanted this to be a special moment for you and me to share. There we go. Right, so I've got here we are, limes. Look like little, you know, never mind. They look remarkably testicular, shall we say. Right, so I've got cilantro, green onions, chicken, some peppers. Yeah, there we go. Some red and not quite orange, but sort of a, I think they actually call this a striped pepper. It's a mixed breed between a red and an orange bell pepper. Yes, and some, it's funny. So cheese is one of the things I can eat, not in the recipe, but this is just for me. Here's the funny part. I don't like gorgonzola. and I'm the idiot who bought this, so anyway. Yes, and red cabbage. Which I decided to go, I don't know, shredded, because I got better things to do with my life than shred cabbage. Butter. Again, Kerrygold, excellent brand. Grass-fed. Just the taste. If you're into butter and you actually use it, this is amazing. Buy it, it's worth it. And of course, the cock, sriracha. Which, this is a much, much smaller size than I usually get. Usually I get the sort of this size. Anyway. So the whole of this, including random miscellaneous things. Let's see here. Limes, $2 for 6 of them. Cilantro, $1.29 for the bunch. Green onions, 99 cents for the bunch. Red cabbage, $1.69. Could have got this cheaper, but you know, here we are. Striped bell peppers, yeah. $2 a piece. So this would have been a, yeah, this I paid way too much for that. That's okay. Chili sauce, $3. Minced ginger is what, $3.29. Ah, yes. Organic rice vinegar. Which is not that. Yes. Right. Organic rice vinegar. Chosen because no carbs. It's not infused with anything. The other brand I found was infused, and it had 4 grams carb per 2 tablespoons. It was silly. What else? Yes, tamari. So, if you're not familiar, tamari is, oh god, it's wonderful. So, what soy sauce is, well, okay. This is what soy sauce is traditionally. It is, well, it's fermented soybeans. So, ingredients list: water, organic soybean, salt, organic alcohol to preserve freshness. Contains soy. Well, yeah. Total carb less than 1 grams, right? That's fine. This is per 1 tablespoon. So, this is called tamari. Now, the soy sauce you get is actually cut. It's not fermented soybeans. It's typically partially fermented soybeans cut with wheat, which I cannot have at this point. I can't do it. It's too carb heavy. And with caramel color, and you look down the ingredients list, and it's dumb. Anyway, sesame seed oil, toasted. Oh yeah. What did I do here? 0 grams carb, of course, because it's all fat. It's a nut oil. Oh yeah, and my sugar-free soft drinks I got, right. And yeah, poultry, of course. Price of that, $6.12. And that's it. So, and there's some beer on there, but we don't speak of such things in the chat. Right. Yeah, this is going to be kind of crazy. I should probably get the chicken going, shouldn't I? So here's the problem with this dish. I'm not going to be able to balance the flavors as I'm used to, because Asian cooking relies on balanced flavor profile, which in this dish, for example, includes honey, which I'm just not able to even look at this point. So the question, of course, is, okay, how am I going to add sweetness into the dish? And yep, I'll figure it out. I suspect at this point the red bell peppers will have a lot of sweetness that I'm not used to, so to me they're going to probably taste plenty sweet. I know sriracha has sugar in it. Total carbohydrates less than 1 gram per teaspoon. And yeah, it does have sugar. So here's hoping that the flavor profile won't be right, but it should be not terrible. Right, so this is going to be kind of chaotic. I really wish that Twitch would let me just see. I wish we had the pop-out chat back. That would be super nice. Right, half a package of pasta. Well, that's okay. We'll call that 9 ounces, which is that. That makes 2. Yeah, that makes 2 servings. So, okay, this seems about right. How much chicken do I need? 3 boneless, skinless chicken breasts cut into 1-inch pieces. Okay. So 3, so these are thighs. We're going to go 4. Right, this will be great. Here's what we'll do. We'll get the chicken sort of cut up. I don't really want to get my hands all sort of chicken nasty. Yeah, so I think we'll sort of do... You know what? Yeah, we're just going to freeball it. Here we go. So this is where the stream gets really unique. We can certainly make this recipe, but it would be more interesting, perhaps, to just sort of know garlic, of course. I cheaped out. I didn't get cloves. That's on me. Yeah, I think we'll give it a shot. We kind of know the general shape of what we're looking for. Yeah, the recipe name. Well, at this point, it's going to be some sort of peanut Thai chicken noodle thing. So that is about the best that I can really promise. And I use promise extraordinarily loosely here. Yeah, so I think probably the thing to do, we'll slice this open. We'll probably I've got a cast iron pan over there. I just went ahead and seasoned it with a very small bit of coconut oil, as is the fashion. I think we'll put that to 4. Sounds good. 4. We only do precision cooking here. So, let's think about this for a moment. Here's the goal. The goal is to get a chicken dish that has a fairly balanced flavor profile, is peanut based, has a sauce that can thicken up a little bit. Which, what does that mean? Well, there's cream, there's peanut butter. That'll work nicely. There's butter as well. That will be okay. Not going to use a thickener. I could use a starch, which I'm not going to really be able to do anything with. How else do you thicken a sauce? Well, I could use sort of collagen, gelatin. Not going to do it. Don't really feel like doing that. Or I could cook it down and reduce it and cook the water out of it, which that's what I'm going to do. So, like any good engineer does, you pull the stickers off and you stick them to the nearest plastic bag. These have, you let me miss the first step. I'm gonna wash my hands. Yeah, the stream has been a bit of a logistical challenge, because not only am I running on a laptop with dual camera setup, which, okay, that's kind of newish for me, but also I happen to not have enough USB ports. So luckily the Logitech up here has a microphone. That's what you're hearing. If it sounds like I'm screaming, I'm not really intending to do that. It's just how I'm sort of rolling. Yeah, I'm going into the red a bit. Anyway, so nothing terribly fancy here. We're doing real-life cooking to eat food. So yeah, the interesting part about cooking is I grew up watching a lot of cooking shows, and it's a curious sort of magic act, really, right? So you take, that could have been fun, plastic bag right next to the active burner. That would have been great. Right. Before we start, I'll pull a Norm Abrams here. Bonus, you get the joke, or the reference. Before cooking, you always... Oh god, this is really embarrassing. Yep, here it is. Yep. Right, before cooking, you want a fire extinguisher. First thing. Alton, I think, Alton Brown kind of does that a little bit, but hey, he's not wrong. What are my thoughts on Classic WoW? I have never played. I'm looking forward to it. I have heard through the grapevine that Classic WoW is about to relaunch again on August 24th? Something like that. Wow. Yeah. Knife skills, not great. I couldn't even tell you how long it's been since I've cooked food. And of course, you'd say, well, God, how long have you been on keto? Well, embarrassingly, not long enough to just stop cooking. Sadly, when I go on keto, I tend to do the stupid thing, and I eat, meals comprised of cheese and, cheese, avocados. But I know you can do more. I have friends who have kindly thrown, keto dinner parties, and it's been excellent. But you know, at the end of the day, I come home, I attend to the cat, and, you know, I sort of wonder what I'm really doing with my life. And, you know, say, well, I'll just watch one more stream or one more YouTube or one more video of some sort, and then it's 2 a.m. Oh, this is not good. This is not good quality streaming, having to unlock my laptop. Let's see here. Might find a wife on it. That's funny. What's the Rock cooking? Hopefully a Thai inspired peanut chicken dish. That's the goal. There we go. So yeah, so I think as far as sweetness goes, we can overcome a lot of what the honey is supposed to give us just by chopping up some red pepper. I think that's going to work. The ginger should work as well. The rice wine, or the rice vinegar should be should give a little bit of sweetness. It shouldn't be cloying. You know, it's funny. I used to have better knife skills, but now I don't. But again, this sort of this part of the stream is where I, you know, sort of show that any asshole can cook something, possibly. And the other bonus here is I have never tried the noodles that I'm going to use. They're a keto-friendly konjac, I guess, noodles. Am I going to taste test? Absolutely. Absolutely. I would, you know, whatever happens, it'll be great. None of you know this about me. I happen to have a particular deal, shall we say, with textures. So occasionally, if something is, you know, like snot consistency, yeah, I'll start dry heaving. So that could be fun. Right. I think we'll, yeah, I don't know, so many ingredients. Right, let's just do it. Let's throw some chicken into our pan, which is, of course, a cast iron pan. It's the only pan that you really, truly need. So, yeah, listen to that. Now, what should I do with these? I should season them before they ever go near this. What have I done? Just throw it into the pan. You know, not great. So I think this stream will be, you know, a sort of good effort at cooking, but what not to do, or how to improve dynamically. And yeah, it said we were going to throw 4 in. Let's see. Shouldn't crowd the pan like that. Yeah, another sort of, here's what not to do. Oh man, this stream's gonna be great. You know, dodgy laptop, whole new production value setup. I got a light ring, so that's pretty cool. I've got a light ring and I've turned on the overhead lights, the other overhead lights. The light ring's over there. I've got another light that way. Yeah, it takes a silly amount of lights to do any kind of thing. Close up on the sizzle sub. Here's the problem. I'd love to, but the laptop is an Ubuntu box, and I haven't sort of gone through and tuned it. So the only mic is sort of a stereo setup here, and this, I think there is a mic on here, but it's not sort of wired in. I mean, you know, we've got to have a retro, right? So this could be in the retro. You know, things we could have done better. More mics. How much cilantro do I want? Well, yeah, I don't know. That looks all right. Cilantro is pretty strong, so we're not going to dump a ton into the dish. We're just going to sort of go with it. So let's go ahead and give this a quick rough chop. Agile method. Oh god. Yeah. All I need. I need a scrum master standing behind me telling me like which ingredient to grab. And actually, you know what? It's funny. I joke about that, but Christ, at this rate, yeah, I kind of do need that. This is not going super well. But that's okay. We're you know, doing the thing. Yeah, 4 looks about right. So, I don't really have a full crust on these yet. I don't have a full sear. My pan's a bit uneven, so I have hot spots, which is again, this is what home cooking is about, right? This is what the home cook deals with. That's fine. Yeah, but I bought brand new cutting boards, and I'll go and rough chop these in a little bit. Yeah, so this is one of the 3 brand new cutting boards I bought. If I do a terrible job at this, there may be blood. The stream is just going to be awesome, whatever happens. It's going to be great. Yeah, we'll sort of... again, we'll sort of rough chop the cilantro a little bit. Nothing super fancy. Should probably get the green onions a little bit smaller. That's good enough. Just sort of run a knife over there. Got some little bit larger pieces for texture. Also to be a raw surprise, right? When everything else is cooked, I bite into those. They'll be raw. It'll be great. But again, this I think is very much how people off of cooking shows actually cook, especially if you're a slacker like me. So. Okay. Let me take a moment to think a little bit. So this is going to cook very quickly, so that's going to go in last. So of course I prepped it first, right? Good. That's a good thing I did. What else? Garlic should have probably gone in with the chicken, although not necessarily first thing, because I don't want this to burn. I just want it to smoke a little bit. And I like garlic, so we'll probably... that. So that's, tablespoon. Which I'm sure on the label it will say, you know, it's equivalent to like 6 cloves. That's probably 3 cloves. Let's take a look. Okay. Yep, doesn't say. Hang on. So serving size 1 teaspoon. Well, okay. The higher end brands will tell you what the conversion rate is. That is not a higher end brand. That's a brand that sort of lives in the back of my fridge somewhere. So, you know, that's a thing we just did. Right, butter. The recipe calls for 6 ounces. Actually, it called for 6 tablespoons, which is 6 ounces, as we know in butter terms. Butter comes in 8-ounce quarters. This too is an 8-ounce package, so I'm just going to chop it sort of, I don't know, there we are. Now I'm just going to kind of cube this a bit. And I'll probably add half of this right now. And the remainder when I start really sort of fleshing out the sauce. So we'll just go ahead and scoop this in, same spoon. Your stomach doesn't, oh god, okay, well, alright, hang on. Yeah, that's fine. Right, I'll edit in post. Yeah, we'll just dump the whole thing in, that's what I intended to do. Actually, it shouldn't really matter, but the interesting technical thing here is that as the butter cooks, and sort of as it goes past foaming to more of a toastiness, it'll start to take on or convey a bit of a nutty flavor. So, you know what? It totally works here. Yeah, not a mistake. It's an enhancement. It's a feature. Anyway. Right, so now I've got a pan on 4. Needs to go to 6, let's say. Yeah, so if anybody from work watches this, I don't think I'll be out tomorrow due to food poisoning, but if I'm not in, this might be why. Yeah, because this is chicken's nowhere near done. And knowing that I've got uneven heat, I'm going to move these thighs around the pan a bit. I'll probably flip. Yeah. So butter can go past foaming. It can be toasted. It can take it. The flavor profile starts to, as I said, get a little bit nutty. Crank it to high. Yeah, I might do that. Okay, so I've got that. So all that really remains is the vinegar, which I can use to certainly cut the acidity, so we won't get sort of like a cloying, oily, fatty kind of mouthfeel. The ginger, actually, let's take a look at this. Yeah, less than 1 gram carbohydrate. This is, oh, weird. Okay, so serving size, 1 teaspoon. And here's why the serving size is 1 teaspoon, and shame on me, because I would have bought the finger of ginger. However, I didn't feel like grating it. So I've got something now: organic ginger, organic cane sugar. So 1 teaspoon, total carbs less than 1 gram, total sugars 0 grams. Here's the great trick. If this is why it's 1 teaspoon serving size. If in a serving size this contains 0.49999 grams of sugar, they can round it down and say 0. So that's something to be aware of. Have I used ghee or ghee? Yeah, it's Indian clarified butter. I have not. Basically how you make it is this, and then you skim off the top sort of impurities or sort of surface film. So butter is, of course, as we know, it's well, it's fat, it's sort of fatty solids, and water. So obviously, the longer you cook butter, the more the water will evaporate out, and you'll end up with a sort of more buttery butter, right? That's what ghee or ghee, I don't know how to say it. But that's how that's made. That's why that's so rich and concentrated. So vegetables are going to come in last. This thing will come in very last. It might be time to let some limes join the party, just to brighten the dish a little bit. I'll probably start with one. And you extend the shelf life. Yeah, you would. You would, actually. That makes sense. You know, it's funny. I hadn't actively thought about that, but yeah. Of course, to really extend shelf life of milk, here's what you do. You make it into cheese. Right? So you make it into a very rich, a very aged cheese where all the lactase, the milk sugar, gets converted over to lactic acid, right? So that's what gives it, it's sort of a astringent, acidic tang. If you're looking at, say, like a really aged cheddar. And in a really, really aged cheddar, you can get crystals that form, and they're fantastic. So what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of rolling the limes. I'm just breaking up their insides a bit to get some more liquid out of these. Yeah, the cat just sort of, yep, she's over this way. She's still a slug. If you saw my last stream on this channel from 2 years ago, she's still a slug. We have good times though. We really do. She's okay. Yeah, so Christ, so I was right to only want to add half of the butter in the first go round. So, am I making Thai peanut chicken soup? Maybe. Yeah, so I got new kitchen hardware here for the juicer. It's manual, it's metal with, it's supposed to be metal, hang on. Yeah, it's die-cast aluminum, it's got a coating, so, and I'm sure it's from China. Yes, it is. Great. So that means that instead of dying from... Never mind. Something leaded paint, I'm sure. Let me give this a quick wash. Right. What do we got on chat? It's Druid in cat form. I don't know. She's alright. She's 14 and a half years old. I went, actually, I rescued her from the animal shelter. I was there to pick up another cat, Bianca. Now, Bianca was beautiful. She was a pointed Siamese. Markings were exquisite. I mean, just a beautiful cat. I never met Bianca. I just saw her picture. So, I was walking to the end of the sort of death row where Bianca was, and this Paul reaches out of the cage and sort of, hooked me by the shirt. And after a couple of rounds of this, I pulled out that cat, pulled her into the, playroom, or the get to know each other room, as they called it. And yeah, that's the cat that I brought home. So there we are. Okay, so the chicken is coming along. So what I'm doing is the terrible, terrible thing of just, got a metal spatula in the hand, let's just hack at the chicken a bit. Not great. So, what do I want to do here? I think it's time to probably start looking at figuring out what I'm going to do with the sauce. Let's take a moment to think about what I've done. I now have chicken coated in fat. And that's, I mean, that sounds delicious, but that doesn't take sauce very well. I've done just a really terrible thing here. But we'll do it live. We'll figure it out somehow. I'm doing the whole, like, whatever. Just the whole double-handed shrug thing. So I think, what do I want to do? I want to cut the fat a little bit, which means acid. I've got 2 acids here to choose from, but I sure don't want to add that and the milk at the same time. Then I'd have peanut yogurt, which, again, sounds delicious. Not what I'm after. Yeah, so I think I'll probably pull the chicken, dump in the vegetables. I don't know, I'll probably start... Yeah, I'll probably start adding... Let me think very carefully about this. How do I want to do this? I'm not quite sure if I should add the milk, the heavy cream as a base, or the others. You know what? I think I'll do this. I will do the heavy cream as base. Have I made it with peanut oil? Well, I'm about to. I mean, you know, the organic stuff always separates. I don't do the whole stir and refrigerate thing. So, yeah, that will be a component. Toasted sesame oil, a little bit too delicate. I think that's just going to get absolutely obliterated by some of the heavier notes that are about to hit this dish. But I really like toasted sesame oil. So how would I use it? Well, if I were cooking, well, okay. If I had, well, all right. If I had the suave nature to get a girlfriend, and then if I had a girlfriend and I were cooking for her and I were cooking this dish, here's what I would do. I would make a side salad and I'd toss the I'd make a light vinaigrette out of the toasted sesame oil, the rice vinegar, and probably a little bit of walnuts. I would toast them and very, very lightly glaze them. Although, of course, glazing means sugar. Sugar means bad at this point. I could do it in orange juice, but again, orange juice glazes because it's sugar, so, you know. But let's be frank. If I were doing that, then this would be a really special lady. And I'd probably... you know, I could eat like 3 or 4 or 4 walnuts and call it good. And then I'd see what she would do, right? Because if she stuffs her face, then it means that, what does that mean? I don't know. Anyway, it means that she would enjoy it and would be happy to partake in the meal with me. That's what that would mean. Alright. Nice. Turn that back down to 4. We're going to go ahead and put our chicken into a holding vessel. Yeah, because that looks pretty good. Yeah, we got some nice color on this. You can see it's cooked through. We've got a bit of Maillard reaction going. Got some browning, certainly the butter. You can see it's foaming. It's starting to go a bit nutty. Yeah, we've got very good things happening here. And I don't have enough room in this bowl. Oh, wait, but if I stack it and drop it so that I burn myself, that'll be perfect. Right, good. So this goes off to rest. Fun fact about meat. You always want to let it rest for about 10 minutes. Because if you, for example, you cook a steak, if you take it off the heat and immediately go and carve it up, you'll come back in a few minutes with a deflated steak and a pool of juices. Let it rest. Just let it relax. Usually I'd throw it in the microwave or under a tent of foil. But you know, I'm feeling like a rebel, so I'm not going to do it. It's just going to sit, hang out by the sink. No big deal. Alright, we'll go with a couple of tablespoons of peanut butter. Okay, maybe 2.5 tablespoons. And we'll do this super annoying thing. Yep. Yeah, good. And we'll quickly unlock the laptop again. Oop. Or not. Okay. Right. Yeah, so it does. Yeah, it does. It's got some great sort of scrapings. Yeah, so obviously that's at a 4. I think I will actually throw in the cream just because it is a bit cooler and I want to sort of temper it a little bit. There we go. So all in, that was about a third of a pint, and a pint is some number of ounces, so that conversion checks out. That's legit. Yeah, there we are. Right. Ginger. I think we'll get Ginger to come join the party. There we go. Had a recent injury that makes that not fun to do. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually taste this first. And yes, I've got a spare spoon on standby in the microwave. I don't know. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I think to this whole thing we're gonna go with a tablespoon, which is 2.5 teaspoons. Christ. It's yeah, I should have definitely grated my own. It's not bad. But it's somewhere between applesauce and pickled ginger. So yeah, it's not bad. It's just not quite what I was expecting. So that's okay. Crushed whole peanuts. Oh yeah, that's right. The pepper flakes. I meant to grab that container from work actually. Do I have any here? I should, but you know what? I think I do. Knowing me, I'm sure that I do. Yeah, brand new sriracha feeling. We're gonna crank in a little bit of that. There we go. Keep that on hand. Yeah, so this is yeah, not as thick as I would like. Not nearly as sort of peanutty. Yeah, my instinct with butter was right. I should have used only about 3 ounces. But, you know, we're learning, so it's okay. Right. Crushed whole peanuts, yeah, that'd be good, but, I looked at some, I was going to buy some, and then I, didn't. There's no good reason for that, I just, didn't. Let's see, I've got chili powder. A million packets of ketchup for some weird... Ah, here we are. I have 1 packet of dehydrated red pepper flakes. You know, the kind you get with your pizza. What a weird dish. I mean, what a weird sort of amalgamation of, hey, I found this thing in my fridge, and, you know, I only buy the best stuff and squeeze my limes fresh. Who does this? So, I think we'll probably get some limes into the mix because, I don't know, I feel like some limes. There we go. We'll see how my juicer works. And let's see. Yep, okay, well, seems straightforward to me. Yep, squeeze handle, juice comes out. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. Love it. Okay. Christ. Ugh, there we go. Wow, I really wish that mic were active. There was an active suction sound. That was great. I liked it. Okay, we'll go lime half number 2. So we've got a full lime loaded up in here. Yeah, should be okay. Hang on. Okay, good. Right. So let's think about this. How can I make the sauce a bit more peanutty? I could add more peanut butter, but I don't know. Alright. Yeah, moment of truth. The noodles and then all my vegetables are about to go take a ride. Add more peanut butter. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much all that I can do here. But I think I'll actually taste it. Actually, I want to add some soy sauce to get some umami in here. Because so far, umami has not joined the party. And of course, Asian cuisine is about balance. So this is, you know what, probably the ginger that I bought was not, it'll work out for me because I'm not actively using sugar anywhere else. And ideally, I would use honey and then brighten the flavor a bit with lime. But of course, I don't have any sort of honey option. Hang on. So here's the noodles, the quote-unquote noodles, which, yeah, okay, I think they're slowly getting there. There we go. Slowly doing the whole white balance thing. Yeah. So, what the package said is rinse these, and then they're ready to go. So I'm just giving them a bit of a rinse. Christ above. Yeah, this you might get a really good show. So I have kind of an issue with tapeworms. I've never had one, no. But years and years and years ago, I saw, the sort of tapeworm in the 2 foot high glass jar. The thing that you do to science students, and yeah, the thing was just horrific. And here I am. This looks suspiciously like tapeworms. Yeah, there we go. And there's that one. Great. Yeah, so maybe the series should be titled something like, I don't know, Blunder Through Cooking with a Normally Very Well Put Together Guy. Who knows? Oh, nice. Yeah, yes, came out of your dogs. I've never had a pet that's had worms, but yeah, I've known enough people who were vet techs and who had sort of outdoor pets. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good time. Yeah, so this is reduced down, I think. Yeah, we'll get some tamari in here after we unlock the laptop because, because reasons. Okay. Yeah, and again, tamari is what soy sauce always used to be before it was commercialized and what we have now. So this is soybeans that have been fermented. The end. That's called tamari. Now, what you get in the store, the thing that's called soy sauce, again, in case you're just showing up, is soybeans, wheat, which I can't do right now, usually caramel color, maybe a stabilizer. Yeah, we're going to go to probably 3/4 of a teaspoon there. Or, sorry, tablespoon. So, call that what, 1.5 teaspoons? So why I just added that in was to get some umami flavor. Again, Asian cuisine is a lot about balancing of flavors. So for me, the peanut butter tastes quite sweet, just because I'm now not accustomed to any sugar, so I pick it up when I so for example, I walk by the bakery section in a lot of supermarkets now, and it's cloying. It's super sweet. Like I can just taste it in the air. It's really cloying, really, really powerful. But I'm not going to say unwelcome. It's funny, I was about to say, I wouldn't say no to a cheesecake, but I did last week. Made me very sad. It looked good. Okay, so the toasted sesame oil, we're going to finish with that, because that's just too delicate to really put through too much of the pain here. I think we will hit this with I don't know, probably a glug of rice vinegar. It's got a slot top. Wow, that lets nothing through. Okay. Yeah, that's probably okay. That will again give it a little bit of sort of Asian zing. Let's see. People, yeah, they do. They do, in fact. People totally use tapeworms to lose weight. In fact, you could buy tape. I don't know if you. Well, I'm sure you still can. You could buy like frozen, sort of a tapeworm in stasis, and then ingest it. If you're feeling particularly stupid. And yeah, sure enough, you'd start to lose weight. Absolutely. But yeah, that's not a great way to do much of anything, I think. Okay. So, oh yeah, cabbage, of course. How could I forget about you, my cabbage? Pull parts open. Yeah, it's just like my tortured soul. There we go. Yeah, we're gonna throw in a, I don't know, fistful of cabbage. Great. I like these measurements. I'll use metric, I'll use standard, and I'll use, you know, fistfuls. Perfect. Which, funnily, never mind. It's a story for another time. It's a funny measurement story. Yeah, so I really don't want to cook this for long because I do want the vegetables to, you know, not just dissolve. So my goal here, it's called a fond, right? So I'm going to pull all the stuff up off the bottom of the pan. Now, if I were cool, you know what? Yes. I'm going to be cool today. Consider yourselves extremely lucky. This is rad. I'm going to be totally cool. It's going to work. It will be wonderful. I gotta plate most of this up, though. So, I was about to talk about deglazing. And deglazing a pan, well, if you've ever seen Food Network, you know what it is. But the short version is, if you have a fond, which is, you know, sort of baked on, like crackly goodness bits on the bottom of the pan. Yeah, that's called a fond. So, God, I want to make a fondue pun here. Okay, alright, here we go. Wasting the fond, that is a fondant. Right, anyway. Yeah, wasn't worth it. Oh well. So, here's how you remove the fond from the bottom of the pan. 1, you can scrape the shit on the pan. Yeah, that'll work fine. 2, apply acid. Enter a little bit of acid. Usually what you do is you cook beef. You sear beef, you cook beef, you have like all the beefy goodness in the bottom of a pan, to which you add red wine, right, to bring the fond up and to make it a lovely sort of, well, you can make it several different things, like if you add red onions and cook them down a little bit and then add heavy cream, then you can make a, what would that be? Is that a roux or a remoulade? Oh, shit. Anyway, I need to go watch Alton Brown again. But you make something really delicious. So, my hope is I can do something similar that will also be totally Asian, I don't know, Asian appropriate, right? And if I were super cool, what would I do here? I'd probably add a little bit more peanut butter. Because, hashtag, I don't know, whatevs. So, here's the other trick. Okay, I'm going to add this much peanut butter, which is probably 1.5 tablespoons. This is for me later on, so I can figure out how much sugar I'm taking in. The answer is going to be not a lot, because I'm probably going to eat this as in 4 sittings, spread over 2 days. So, I'm doing, I don't know what's it called, like VLC, or anyway, I'm doing the sub. Well, if you want to get really good, it's sub 20, but I'm doing 22 grams carbs a day, net carbs. And yes, it is dirty keto. So, let's see, probably the thing with the most sugar I've put in this would be the ginger, but I only put not much in. I put sort of half of that, yeah, so I put about a tablespoon in, which you figure that's tablespoons, 2.5 teaspoons. Let's say that, I measure big, right? That's probably fair. All right, so let's say it's 3 teaspoons. 1 teaspoon had, 0 grams of sugar. Let's say that that's actually 0.499 grams, right? Because that's how they're going to work. Okay, 1.5 grams of sugar. And again, I'm dividing this among 4 sittings, probably over 2 days. So yeah, that won't come close to busting me. The worst thing that I've thrown in here is heavy cream, and I threw in, what did I say? It was like a third of a pint. So I don't know, like let's call it 4 ounces. That's probably overestimate, but whatever. Oh. And this should be in 1 ounce. Let's see. Okay. Serving size 1 tablespoon. Oh god, what's the conversion of that? Yeah, don't know. Either way, it's not going to be terrible. Because again, it's getting split by 4. Right, so, plate. And then we'll do some, we'll reintroduce the chicken to this whole mess. How do I want to do this? You know what? We'll put the chicken on underneath. And we probably won't even get to throw all of it down. We'll just sort of throw down, I don't know, that much chicken. And we'll do this thing. So I want to keep, I don't know, do I want to keep a lot of liquid in here? Probably not a great deal. I want to keep some. And then I'll add the rest of the chicken. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Then I'll add the rest of the chicken to this. Almost make it, yeah, it would be a roux, wouldn't it? Although, no, a roux requires flour. It would be, I don't know, it would be whatever it is. Yeah, this looks pretty good. The vegetables aren't, you know, totally nuked. They still have color. They will definitely be tender. If I were better at this, I would have retained half of them, and I would have thrown that half in about 5 minutes before this time, right? So that I could have had some slightly crunchier vegetables. That's okay. We're learning here, I guess. Yep. Let me. The laptop is in power save mode. I don't know why it's doing this. It's plugged in, but, you know. I guess this is what we're doing during the stream, of course. Lots of calories in pizza. Yeah, that's true. There are lots of calories. It's, well, I mean, look, it's fat, right? It's nut fat. Yeah, 190 calories per 2 tablespoons. So, yeah. There's also a lot of fat in this, which I didn't use at all. And I'm not sure that I'm bummed about it, but that was not expected. Here we go. Yeah, and of course you're not able to hear that sizzle. That is definitely sizzling. Dump our chicken in. And we're going to kill the heat and scrape along sort of the bottom of the pan. We're going to use the chicken as a sponge here. Just to get, you can see the pan is cleaning up here. We're getting all that fond off the bottom of the pan. Fond, I think, is French for burnt stuff that tastes good. That's a technical French cooking term. Totally not made up on the spot. The definition, that is. The word I didn't make up. Fond. And there we go. We're just going to hack at that. Yeah. And that looks like it's going to pretty much work. So that looks all right. Okay, the heat is off. I think we're going to just sort of put a lot of that chicken in there. We're going to put this on here for now. And now we're going to do the thing that is either going to go very, very well or just be terrible. Here we go. So Yeah, obviously yeah, the butter. My inclination was right. Should have used 3 ounces. Instead, I used when I started to follow the recipe, it called for 6. I threw 6 in, and here we are. Moral of the story is, yeah, that was wrong, but that's okay because what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'll open. Well, if I can tolerate the noodles, I'm going to throw in another package over here and just sort of toss it around and then mix the whole thing together. That should work to alleviate a lot of the sort of too much fluid problem that I'm having. Alright, so you can see, I don't know, garnish with used limes? Probably not. Yeah, again, presentation, not terribly my strong suit. I mean, well, look at me. Yeah, hey, we got splashes of color all over the place. That looks pretty good. The chicken's lurking down there. I'll take a bite of this chicken in a moment. For now, let's do the whole food porn thing. Let's do the whole camera not really focusing, something like that, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Here's how we fix this. Yeah, that's surprising. That is actually too peanutty. I was concerned about that. The sort of main note is a big tuba of peanut. So, yeah, we can introduce some acidity to cut through some of that just sort of cloying kind of sensation. Throw another, actually. Throw a half lime sort of over there, and we'll do a second half into this this pot as well, this pan. I mean, it's not bad. It's God, what does it need? Obviously, I'm implicitly, well, explicitly, sort of finding that, yeah, this needs acidity to cut the sort of cloying, dark peanut sort of note. I mean, is it bad? No. Is it the best thing I've ever made? No. Would I eat this again? Yeah, of course, 3 more times. Would I make this again? Yes. But I will tweak it. Yeah, the funny thing is, there's not really much of a salty note. There's a nice sort of richness, but not really, not super salty. So the tamari sauce, I think I got right. That's dead right. It has super earthy kind of note from the peanut. Obviously, the peanut content here with peanut butter. Not unexpected, but that's on me, because it's like, hey, I want to make this a little bit more peanutty. How do I do that? I know, I'll throw in some more peanut butter. Okay. Lesson learned. Should have tasted first. Simple. Let's give this another shot here, and then we'll eat some of the chicken in a moment. Also, we'll take some of this pepper as well. So I've got a second bite here. Whoops, hang on. See if I can sort of angle it round a bit. Hmm. Okay. All right. Um, it's not a 10. Oh god, can we use Fibonacci numbers to rate to point this? Let me think about this. So, what did the dish try and do? It tried to replicate a Thai peanut chicken something dish. Okay, did it do that? Um, Mostly. Um, yeah, I think probably off camera what I will do is add another container of the noodles to it. I will probably mix everything around, and I will probably eat 6 times off of this over 3 days. Um, yeah, there's something like, I don't know. I'm trying to sort of identify. There's something a little weird, and I think it's the noodles. So konjac is what is? I mean, that's I'll have to figure out what it actually is. But um, so have I been served worse than this in a restaurant? Oh God, yeah. Um, you know what? Let me actually, before I do anything else, let me try the chicken. This will be you know, let's not start going off on it being perfectly serviceable without trying the chicken. So yeah, that's just a random nubbins of chicken. We want to do some white balance maybe. Yeah. So that's cooked through, still very tender. Oh shit. The chicken is good. You know what? It's the noodles. Damn. Damn, that's disappointing. Yeah, the rest of it, that's nice. That was a red pepper. Yeah, that's great. That adds about the right amount of sweetness I was looking for. Um, Here's a stripy pepper. Yeah, same story there. That's good. It's the noodles. Shit. So, that's disappointing. Here's why it's disappointing. I have another 5 packages of those noodles. God. Um, yeah, you would think that, Michael, but the noodles, I'll probably off cam. I'll rinse them and try them just on their own. Uh, because I strongly suspect, like if I have one on its own, I'll do it on cam. Here we go. Where did I put these? Yeah, that's right. So, if I were super cool and not doing keto anything, I probably would have thrown this in. Regular linguine. Now, why linguine, you ask? It's a broad texture, it holds sauces better than, spaghetti. And it's also gives you nice mouthfeel and bite as opposed to like angel hair pasta. So yeah, that's why, the linguine, the fettuccine, that sort of noodle, broad noodle, that's typically what I use. Yeah. Yeah, again, 2 grams carb, 2 fiber, net carb 0. And there's 2 servings in this. So a serving is, drained weight. So yeah, serving's 3.5 ounces of noodle. Let's give it a shot, I guess. Let's try just the noodles. Right. Naked noodle. Huh. Um. Yeah, that's somewhere. That's interesting. It's somewhere between like an egg noodle and something. Oh, yeah, that's where I'm getting the aftertaste from. It's not bad, but it very much is sort of like, God, what is that I'm tasting? There's something like weirdly earthy going on here. Um, and of course, it's probably being amplified by the peanut note, which can't really be helping. Yeah, so I guess we'll, I don't know. Because apparently I don't really like myself with food, I'm just going to dump it straight in, and yeah, probably going to dump everything in just so that I can distribute some of the sauce. So, yeah, I think obviously the butter amount, my own instincts were right. It's depressing, right? Because I said, okay, we're going to follow this recipe. It may be okay. I've never tried it. We'll give it a shot. And right after that first step, I dumped in the 6 ounces of butter, and I said, okay, that's it. We're just going to kind of mix our own ingredients now. We're going to go off the reservation a bit here. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, if I had made this for somebody who I was, shall we say, entertaining, I would have made this in advance, and then I probably would have, if it was first meetup, we wouldn't be meeting up here, so, But unless it was somebody who, we were actively dating, I would have thrown this in the fridge for myself and made something different. As it is, it's like, it's a little bit too... Here's what this dish is. This dish actually is a 1970s take on Thai cuisine. That's what this dish is. Now, if you know anything about 1970s cooking, yeah, that's kind of a slam. 1970s cooking was very sort of, heavy brown sauces and heavy other sauces and, casseroles and that sort of thing. This isn't bad, but I suspect, you know what? Here's what I suspect is going to happen. I think that this is the kind of dish, especially now when I'm sort of thinning it out with a lot of noodles. This is very much the kind of dish that is going to taste better tomorrow, and probably even better the following day. That is my hope, and I think that's going to be correct. So what else happened? I think the onion ratio was a little bit much. Probably added them a little bit early as well. They should have been a bit brighter, added a bit later in the dish. The vegetables were just added a little bit too soon. So of course they got cooked down, which wasn't quite what I was going for here. So I don't know. I mean, am I actively disappointed? I don't know. It's all right. I can do better, and I've done better, and I'm a little bit. It's a little bit disappointing that this wasn't sort of grand slam, right? But part of this series, part of the goal here really is to show a vaguely normal person, kind of, doing vaguely normal person cooking, and it was supposed to be around about an hour. But look, we've got a thing here that I'm going to say that's a 6-person serving, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, or if you pair it with like and here's how you brighten this thing up. Simple green salad with something raw in it, like maybe some maybe some raw green onion, right? Just like little medallions, scallion medallions, if you will. Hit with a bit of rice vinegar, bit of toasted sesame oil, and candied walnuts. You know, and that would go a long way to sort of brightening up the entree here. So if I were doing like a full sort of dinner service, I'd look at this thing and I'd start thinking, you know, spinach salad, maybe throw some cucumber in there, maybe throw, again, something like crunchy and a little bit sweet. Maybe even beets, would it be? I don't know, but you know, tossed with a vinaigrette and topped with a few candied walnuts. Not with blue cheese though, because I think the blue cheese would it would be too much, right? The main is already very earthy. You know, it's very, very rich. The salad would be very, very sort of light to accompany that. Dessert. Well, what would I do? What would I make for dessert? I mean, you know, you could do like a keto cheesecake. I've seen. I don't think I believe it, but you know, you could do that. I mean, of course, almond anything sweetened with a little bit of. Oh my God, make that. Yeah, if I look, I've boned something simple. A cheesecake is much harder. And I don't have the right pans for it. So, for example, here we go. We can do swerve. This is stevia or monk fruit. I think it's stevia, actually. Derived from fruits and vegetables. Okay. Which is which one? Well, it's either monk fruit or the other one that I just said, which I don't think it is. Yeah, here we go. Oligosaccharides. Yeah, this is anyway. So I don't know. I'd probably right. Here's what I would make. I can tell you exactly what I'd make. I would make a mousse. I'd make it out of dark chocolate, you know, like 85% cacao. I'd make it out of some kind of monk fruit or stevia-based sweetener. I'd make it out of heavy whipping cream, and I'd whip the hell out of it, and then we'd have a mousse. Right, done. That's what I would do. Peanut butter and jelly pad thai. Yeah, unfortunately, jelly that's a non-starter here. Because yeah, that takes fruit. Maybe let me think about this. Can I even now I'm thinking about the mousse. I do have a so in a surprise announcement that will surprise nobody here. I have a milk frother. So, you know, for coffee, right? So if you get... anyway, you know what it is. So I could do that. I also have... One of the tricks to getting good frothed milk is... And I've got ice in this one. this has been in the freezer. But one of the tricks of good frothed milk and sort of milk foam is you start beating on it super cold. That's what this does. So yeah, that's actually something that I could totally do, and that's something that you know, doesn't sound terrible. Yeah, this thing was I don't know, man. It I mean, mission accomplished with it being super filling and super, I've eaten something. Actually, yeah. I mean, I guess hats off to me for that. It's certainly going to fill that need, but at that point, why not just cook the chicken and just scoop peanut butter out of the container? Yeah, the flavor profile. Would it benefit from honey? Yeah, it sure would. Because you sort of want to it's not too acidic, but the flavor needs brightening in other kind of ways, and yeah, honey is how you would cut this. Honey or some kind of maybe like oranges or orange orange pulp, but again, not happening for me right now. So how would I fix this if I were not doing keto? I would take I would take like mandarin oranges, like the little, the cutie branded ones that are like this tall and this big, that are actually tangelos. I believe tangerines are tangelos. I would zest them. I'd throw the zest in here, and then I would juice them and use the juice and as much of the pulp as I could get. And it would probably take 6 of those to fix the dish. And hey, if you want to test me on this, I'm bringing this tomorrow. You bring one of those, we'll see where we go. Yeah, I think it needs something acidic and sweet to sort of cut through a lot of the sort of earth-heavy kind of notes that we've got going in there. I don't know. I mean, it's food that got made. I didn't burn anything down. I guess we got to see sort of how normal people cook, if they're kind of cooking retarded a little bit. I am very much out of practice, but that's pretty much how it goes, I guess. I'm trying to think. So well, of course, one thing that I would really like to make would be something like a Cornish pasty. But the problem is that's a no-go for me right now. Because obviously Cornish pasty is all the delicious stuff I can eat, right? So, beef and lamb and leek, well, and potato optionally, which I wouldn't include. Of course, wrapped up in a pastry. It's a pocket pie, so it's in a pastry crust, which is I can't do that right now. And of course, I could do the whole thing where it's like, oh, just buy almond flour and coconut husk, droppings and exotic bird beak shavings. It comes out to just about the same thing. I don't know. The thing that I'd want to do with Cornish pasty would, of course, be to replicate my nan's recipe, who was from Cornwall, actually. So, I grew up eating not only the real thing, but the real thing made from absolute scratch. She made her own crust. She made just everything from scratch. By somebody who knew absolutely how to make one and who had, I don't know, 30 years making it, plus the benefit of being taught by somebody who had 60 years making it. I mean, it's, I'd be disappointed. And in fact, there's a restaurant in town that does Cornish pasty, and I've been there a couple times, and it's disappointing. But I really try to just see if I can enjoy it for what it is. But unfortunately, the comparison naturally happens, and it's just, no Cornish pasty will be my nan's Cornish pasty. It's not possible, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I think one of the other good things that I could do to improve the dish, but this is my own preference, would be more spiciness. So it just got a little tiny hit of sriracha. I'll probably just throw some in now, actually. I'm not going to make it ridiculously spicy, but at the same time, if we're going to live, let's enjoy ourselves. Yeah, there we go. That should be enough to taste it, because I get zero heat out of that, which, I don't know, it's not really what I think of when I think of sort of, Southeast Asian cooking. Now, if I want it to be a little bit more nutty, which I don't, if you like hot sauces, this is some great stuff. That's Dave's Ultimate Insanity hot sauce. If you leave it in the refrigerator for long enough, it will start to sort of crystallize, and it gets so much more of what it is then. It's astonishingly hot. So for example, maybe, I don't know, 4 drops of that in this whole pan would add noticeable heat. The flavor of Dave's Ultimate, you know what? So here's what we're doing. I'm talking myself in the direction of making chicken wings. Yeah, that's kind of what this looks like, isn't it? But anyway, the flavor is not good. Or sorry, the the flavor is not bad. There is actual flavor there. It's not just, oh my god, my mouth is burning. It's, oh my god, my mouth is burning. Hey, that's a nice flavor. Yeah, exactly. Hot Ones. That's a YouTube channel that's I don't know how long they've been going. I have never watched the channel. I know of it, and I've seen them as I scrolled past. But yeah, something like that. What else? I think that pretty much is it. I got to try out my new cutting boards. That was pretty rad. I got to wash like everything. That needed to happen. Yeah, so one of the interesting things on keto is I never sort of crave like potato chips or anything. But when I do the keto thing, I start, I don't know, wanting something different. And about the only crunchy thing outside, crunchy snack thing, is just fried pig skin. Which, funnily enough, I'm not really, I don't know. I never really was a fan. And now it's like, yeah, sure, I'll eat, I don't know, 4 handfuls, whatever. I don't know. I'm still not really a fan. I tell you what I do like. I do like to use it as a conveyance for avocado. Right, so you just take your avocado and just sort of scoop it out. That's kind of amazing. But yeah, I I don't know. Just eating them is a bit. It's sort of a nothing food, right? It's like, okay, yep, in crunching my way through stuff, I don't know. I half of me wants to continue, and the other half just sort of it feels a bit greasy and weird, and I don't know. I sort of want to stop. Um, oh yeah, yeah, they will be a bunch of fat. It's skin that's deep fried, so yeah, it's all fat and protein though. So let's take a look. Yeah, 0 grams carbohydrates. Serving size 1/2 ounce. Servings per container 36, and that's 36 in. God, what's a normal size thing? I can. Okay, iPhone 7 for scale. So yeah, it's well, random hand of somebody you don't know for scale. Perfect. Um, God, 36. Jesus. Yeah, so you might be right. The serving size might be like 3 uh, pork rinds. Oh well. So, what do I do when I'm cooking to actually impress? I break out my digital kitchen scale and I just weigh everything because okay, if you've ever seen Food Network or Alton Brown, you'll know. But yeah, volumetric measurement not great. Um, what you want to do is weigh your dry ingredients. Because of course, if you say, "Hey, I want a 1/4 cup of green onion," all right, I can take 1 green onion, like fold it or sort of cut it twice. Yeah, that fills up a cup. Or I can take 20 and not julienne, chiffonade them, right? So I can really work the knife back and forth over them until they're like green confetti, and that's a cup. So yeah, that's why, I mean, for things like that, you want weight measurements rather than volume. Um, yeah, and also if I were impressing, cooking to impress, I would. I don't know. If I weren't doing keto and I were cooking to impress, what would I make? Yeah, here's what I would make. I would make pork loin with blue cheese reduction sauce, with a side salad, which would probably be like a spinach, arugula, with a vinaigrette and candied walnuts, probably like whole little, mandarin orange segments, and blue cheese crumbles inside the salad as well. That's what I would do. You know what? No. Swap out the swap out the mandarin oranges in the salad for diced apple to pick up on the pork. Perfect. That's what I would make. Oh, hang on, can I make that? Oh my god, hang on, is this keto? The apples obviously no. Although, if I don't know, 1/2 cup of apples, which is funny that I'd say sort of like 1/2 cup after explaining that's a terrible way to measure, but anyway. Let's say, I don't know, half of an apple diced. Probably not terribly bad, although that would be, I'm sure that would be all the sugar that I'd be eating in a day. Um, let me think about this. Now I'm sort of thinking. I mean, the cream obviously I could eat. The pork obviously, blue cheese, yes. What else would go into that? Ideally alcohol, which I couldn't have. Because it would be. Well, actually, this camera is hooked around the bottle, but it's a bottle of cream sherry, which is a fortified wine. Um, or I'd probably do like a light, not a Moscato because that's a bit too sweet. Maybe like a Riesling cut with something, cut with like a dry white, to sort of deglaze the pan. That's what I would use. And you know what? I'll bet that 2 ounces of that would pretty much cover the bottom of the pan, and a lot of it would cook off, so it probably wouldn't be terribly much sugar. Yeah, so I'm slowly, well, not so slowly. I'm talking myself into thinking very hard about this, and maybe I'll do that next time. Although, that is probably itself a very sort of 1970s dish. So what would I do to kind of lighten it a little bit? I would, well, like I said, I'd use sort of a white wine to deglaze instead of like a red or a Merlot or a Shiraz. I would make sure the salad was very, yeah, the apples were the addition there, and the candied walnuts were the addition. Bunch of fat, yeah. And the pork itself, yeah, I don't think I'd do anything with that. I'd just get a really nice pork loin from, from a good shop. I mean, this would be, I don't know, $14 a pound kind of range. And I'd get some really good Danish blue, which, again, is, it's about that range. Yeah, so that's probably what I'd do if I were actually, cooking to impress. I don't know, maybe that's the meal I'd make. Who knows? Maybe I can share it with you guys. Maybe we'll eat that together, and then I'll put my plate away and, sob in the bedroom with the cat. Typical sort of end of the evening activity. So that was okay. We did a thing. I don't know. Presentation looks all right. In hindsight, I would have reserved. Well, I would have not used half the butter, just like I initially intended on only using 3 ounces. But here we are. I would have reserved half of the vegetable mass for the last couple minutes of cooking. I would not have put in that extra blob of peanut butter at the end. What else? I think the rest of it was okay. Maybe... Yeah, I mean, it needs a little bit more umami, so maybe a bit more tamari. But yeah, sadly, the one thing that can immediately fix this dish is the addition of, some kind of like orangey citrus. Right, which is, not lemon, not lime, but something with sweet notes as well as acid notes. So again, a Tangelo or a nectarine, I guess. Mandarin orange, obviously. And I think, as I said, not many of those would be required to just go in, and that would fix the dish, I think. Really disappointing. Fish oil. Fish oil. Oh, crap. Funny you should mention that. Yep. And of course, the other ingredient that I forgot that I purchased is fish sauce, which of course is a freaking staple of Southeastern Asian cooking. Holy shit. Okay, well, this will add some umami, definitely some umami. It will add some salt, which is good because there's really very, very little salt detectable. Yeah. That's what we call an oversight. Damn. Yeah, I bought this thing too. And, here we are. This is where I cut my finger off. Yeah, I picked this up on Amazon, actually. As one of, I think, 3 special things I picked up. And then I promptly forgot to use it. That sounds kind of par for the course, right? Alright, let's break the inner seal, because you know there is one. Okay, I guess, really? Oh yeah, it's a ring. It's like a pull ring tab thing. That's fine. Best if used by, yep, it's still in date. So, how this is... Well, okay. So, that didn't pan out as expected. Oh god, yeah, that's good. So, here's how they make fish sauce, which is the Southeastern Asian ketchup, right? This is how that gets used. Step one. Take a bunch of anchovies, like a whole boat full. Dump them out into the sun in layers, alternating, you know, anchovy, salt, anchovy, salt, anchovy, salt. Step 2, let that, like, ferment. And step 3, collect all the liquid, and that is fish sauce. So, yeah, this is less than 1 gram of carb, obviously. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Ingredients: anchovy, fish, yep. Sea salt, yep. Water and sugar. And I wish they would tell you the ratios, but suffice it to say, the sugar, to be honest with you, the sugar is probably in there as a hydroscopic. Well, hey, it's probably in there for a little bit of balancing. Either way, it's, you know, what's the serving size here? Oof, 1 tablespoon. Okay, rockin'. And of course, they report 0 grams of carbohydrates per tablespoon. Yeah, there we go. Alright, I think that is what we will call a liberal dosing. I think we're going to go after this with a fork. And, yeah, if you don't... Wow. Yeah, this... Yep, it's clear that I've been using fish sauce. If you don't like anchovies, this is not the condiment for you to use in any other way but sparingly. Not only do I love anchovies, I've got, actually, by the ring light, I've got a whole cabinet full of them. Alright, let's give this a... Yeah, so I might have just broken the dish in a different way, but we'll see. Let's see here. Let's try and get a little bit of everything. Okay. All right. Yep. Okay. Wow. So, okay. Yeah, that's, That's considerably improved. Not nearly as sort of earthy. It's not balanced, but... what does it need? That's pretty good. Yeah, that's not bad. There's still, I mean, it's off. The profile is off. Obviously, yeah, I've got umami. I was just saying, yeah, I should have used more, tamari, because I'm getting, really, the umami isn't even breaking through. Yeah, it's coming through now. And in fact, what's the thing that I'd need? Well, Yeah, it might just be honey that I would need at this point, or some kind of orangey citrus kind of flavor. Well, I'm not calling it success, but um, that's all right. Um, that is definitely, though, a dish that if you're afraid of strong flavors, you really don't want. Um, Certainly, if you don't, well, I went a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I did just pour. There's 47 servings per container. I don't know. I could believe maybe a serving and a half over that whole pot. I don't know. It doesn't seem excessive, but yeah, a little bit of this goes a long way. It's funny. I was just thinking I should refrigerate this. Yeah. Hey, I should refrigerate it. There we go. So I do actually have a way to fix this a little bit. Let's bring out a bit more of the ginger. There we go, a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, because it's obviously not citrus, but it should add a note of brightness, a bit of sweetness to the dish overall, and of course it will balance the profile a little bit. Yeah. Probably not really evenly distributed there. Let's give this another little taste. Obviously, the other thing that I should have done, and that I meant to do, was dice the chicken when it was done cooking. That's the whole reason I pulled them from the flame. Is I was going to dice them into 1-inch cubes. You know. So we'll just sort of do one of these where, yep, it looks pretty much the same. Okay, better. Yeah, it's yeah, I'm sort of creeping up on it, but I think without something like a honey or or an orange sort of note, yeah, that's never going to quite be perfect. Um, yeah, shaved carrots that would definitely add sweetness to the dish. I mean, carrots are way off my radar right now. Um, but yeah, that's another way. Actually, that's a good point. That's another way. I could probably fix this with that, but it feels like it needs like acidic sweetness. Yeah, carrots would certainly work, and they would actually glaze. Obviously, because right, carrots are sugary. They'd cook. They'd make their glaze. It would be good. I see. So, all in all, was it a success? I don't know. Um, we set out to do a thing. We did a thing. I can't even put a time frame on that. So, this was neat. Um, it was an experience, right, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed it. I liked it. The cat got, like, cat tail got a little bit of airtime. So, I'm going to call this a win. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And I'll see you next time.